The Notify icon is a useful control for displaying an icon in the system tray. When the user clicks on that icon, you can respond to that event, or you could display a context menu. This could be especially useful for applications that will run as Windows services or applications that are intended to run all the time, like a monitoring application, and you want to reduce the footprint of the application within the user's environment. So we have a very basic example that demonstrates the use of the Notify icon control. You can find the Notify icon control about halfway through the Common Control section of your toolbox, and you'll drag and drop it onto your form, and doing so will create an icon within the designer tray. After you've given it a proper name, the next thing you'll want to do is set its icon property. Now in this particular case, I'm looking for .ico files, icon files. I can click the ellipsis to find them on my hard drive, and once I find them, they become embedded within my application. Now in this particular case, I just used any icon I could find. I used the MSDN icon. You can also see that I have another icon associated with my application. I added that as a resource. So we can go to the My Project icon within the Solution Explorer, double click it, and you can see within the Resources tab that I've added an icon. There's several different types of things I can add, icons being one of them. So I was able to add that in. I can also remove it if I so desire. Now that it's part of my application, I can refer to it in a strongly typed way, and we'll show that in just a moment. After I set the initial icon that I wanted to use for my application, the next thing that I wanted to do was also create a context menu so that when somebody uses their right mouse button, it will display a small menu. So to do that, I used a context menu strip. You can see that I currently have just two items in my menu strip, show form and hide form, and we'll show how those work in just a moment. But I needed to associate that context menu with my Notify icon through the context menu strip property. So if we wanted to take a look here, all I need to do is just use the little drop-down combo box, and if there are any context menus that are defined within my application, it will list them for me. Here I only have one context menu strip, and so it just lists that for me here, and I can select that as my preferred context menu for my application. Okay, so let's run the application real quick, and then we'll continue to look at the rest of the application, the code. Okay, so the buttons themselves are pretty straightforward. We're just going to hit the hide form, and when I do, the form disappears from site. It also, you can't find within the application bar at the bottom. However, over here to the right-hand side, you can see within the system tray, when I hover my mouse cursor over this icon, the little MSDN icon, it gave me the tooltip of the name of the application, the NotyficationIconVB. When I right-click on this, it pops open my little context menu. From here, I can select to show the form so that it displays it again, makes it visible. Now there's some additional functionality that I was able to add to this application. I'm able to change at runtime the icon. So instead of the MSDN icon, which is currently being used, I want to use this app2 icon. So I'm going to apply the new icon, and notice when I do that, it changes the icon to my new little, looks like a computer screen. And then I can load back in the old icon if I want to. Okay, very simple example, but it demonstrates a few important principles about using the Notify icon. So first of all, how did I get the little context menu to pop up? What did I have to write code to make that happen? The answer is absolutely not. By merely defining the context menu strip property, that functionality came for free. I didn't have to write any code. Let's take a look at the hide form button. Not much to see here. I simply hid the current form. So me refers to the form, and I called its hide method, and that made it disappear so that we don't see it on the screen or within the application bar. The next button, the Apply New Icon button, sets the icon property equal to my.resources.app2, app2 is an instance of an object that represents the app2.ico file that we added into our resources. So this becomes a very clean way of referencing the additional files that we need for our application. We merely need to add them as resources to our project, and then we can reference them using the resources class of the my namespace. The my namespace is new to Visual Basic 2005. It provides access to the most often used classes within the .NET framework. Just a little bit of a shortcut. The final button, the load old icon button, simply resets the icon property back to a variable called old icon. Now, where did we define this? Well, back in the main load, the form load event, we set our private field old icon as icon. We set that equal to the current icon within our notify icon control. So the notify icon is a welcome addition to our toolbox. We could do this in previous versions of our .NET applications, but it required a lot more code, and it wasn't as convenient as just simply dragging and dropping a control onto our designer surface.